I've been running b-boy sessions for almost a decade now. Started one at Astoria from around the time I first joined the congregation. I believe sessions like this create an opportunity not just for people to connect with each other and with the dance community, but to potentially find their spiritual family.
I've been able to meet friends and go places I never thought I would, all because of dancing.
Dance just allowed me to actually express myself more, be more social. Yeah, and actually be part of something that I actually care and I have passion doing, you know?
Some of the dance friends that I met Eric through, they invited me to tag along with them to hang out with Archie. It was just a great experience, what he had to share and offer and just who he was.
Archie just was such a, I don't know the word for it. It's like, he's like an enigma. He was so different. He was so unique because I've never seen someone like him. Someone so open, someone so vulnerable, someone so passionate, and right away I latched onto that and I was like, I need to know more about that.
Archie has impacted my life in a really big way. I think the most important thing is just realizing who God is.
At that point, not many of them were Christian. And from there, they were like, hey, can you teach me life? And I was like, oh, that's a grand thing. I'm not so sure about all of life myself, but sure, we'll give it a go. And that's kind of how it started. And it was like that with prayer. We didn't know who would stay or stick, but we just wanted it to be a safe place for people to share their struggles, but also encounter love and compassion. And that's something I've always believed.
When entering prayer group, initially, it was very warm and very welcoming, and I felt like I had freedom to speak.
Just the fact that we're all open to sharing and anything and everything can be talked about within the confines of those four walls, and there's no judgment.
My relationship with God at that time was just very, very, very low. So we were in a prayer group setting, so I felt like, why not seek for help by opening up? You know, definitely people can pray for me. And that's exactly what happened at the end of it.
And I opened up much more than I thought I would. And ever since then, I built a connection with the prayer group I met through Hope Church.
I grew up in hospitality, my brother and I, and so I asked him, I had this idea for a restaurant, would you do it with me? And he said yes. A lot of these guys were part of the prayer group that met at Archie's apartment. John was also part of that group. They just loved the idea, and some of them were looking for work, and so from the beginning, guys like Ray and Kevin, eventually people like JP and Mike, they all joined the team.
James's leadership style, it's like he's running a church. It's not just about work, but it's also just how the person is feeling. Everything the person encompasses matters when they come to work.
And staff culture, that's what I have to instill and maintain in everybody else, you know? Everybody here is family. We treat everyone with love, respect.
Staff culture at SoT is very similar to a healthy family. When the Sons of Thunder staff met for a whole group meeting, it was a hangout, but also it was a moment of sharing. It felt so much like prayer. We get to come together and be transparent.
I would say the last huddle that I had, that one felt like a prayer group. Just a lot of people opened up about how they felt, you know, there's a lot of positive things that came from that huddle. People were just crying because, you know, SoT really helped them out a lot.
Really, without these guys, Sons of Thunder would not be what it is today because they were so instrumental in building, shaping, and directing this group of restaurants. When we can see them for who they are and hold them to that standard, it changes people.
One of my favorite things to come out of this after a decade of hosting b-boy sessions was the fact that these guys, through an initial connection through dance, they could join this prayer group at Archie's apartment and find spiritual mentorship and connection. And then through that, find professional connections, employment, and professional mentorship by joining the staff of Sons of Thunder. There's kind of like this community flow, not something anybody masterminded. I mean, initially I just introduced some people to other people with friendship involved, and at some point it kind of took on a life of its own, and then like it just blossomed into this whole thing, this chain reaction that blessed a lot of people. I love that.